Yeah, yeah. Making her way to the mic. They start dimming the lights. You start feeling alright. From Birmingham, home of the Teddy Longs and the Ruben Studders. More once you discover. For all of the lovers, Whitney Houston and Roman Reigns. For all of the lovers, and Mickey James and Marvin Gaye. For all of the lovers, and Sasha Banks, Janelle Monáe, Silk, Sonic, and Paige. Allow me to say, look, I just found a place, sweet escape. Every one of us, I was kinda late, I just made it off the struggle bus. Walking by the faith, cause I know it's right in front of us. Yo, I ain't with the hate, gotta focus on what's great. Ladies and gentlemen, Steph Hardy is on the air. Had to drop a couple bars just to make you all aware. So, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. You know I go by Joe or the rest of the flow, yeah.
Hey y'all, welcome to a new episode of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with your girl Stephanie Hardy. Of course, I'm the host and creator of this fabulous platform that you see before you on this Tuesday night. I'm also contributing writer for Daily DDT and color commentator. Book your girl, book your girl, book your girl. And I'm just so happy to be before you guys on today. I know there's a whole lot that has happened in the world of professional wrestling, but honestly, I'm not here to really talk about all of that right now because something amazing has been in the works for the past couple of months that I have been kind of mum about, and life has just been going crazy and such, but finally today it has coalesced in a way that I'm more than sure a lot of people will be blessed about, because of course January is about to wrap up pretty soon, even though I know a whole lot of people have been saying like, oh my god, it feels like this January has been going on forever, right? But today is really like the 30th, and that basically means, with this happening and with the Royal Rumble just passing this past Saturday, which was amazing, that I will talk about, at a later time, probably this weekend, I am on the precipice of celebrating the 4th anniversary of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast. And I am just really grateful to have reached this point. And every time Royal Rumble time happens around this time, I just always, it always sets into motion me thinking about how far the show has come, how so many amazing things have happened to me, when it comes to me loving wrestling before being a content creator and writer and all of the things, and how it's basically grown from just one audio only show to even a bigger to an even bigger tree now, with 3 shows that I have, a part of this baby network that I have, and I'm just so grateful for that. But also, in the midst of all the growth that has happened, something that I have always wanted since I started the show 4 years ago now is something just really special. And today it came in the mail. Hey, Brandon. And I'm really happy that you are watching, because you, Brandon, the belt guy, have a lot to do with this. So if you may or may not have noticed on my social media pages, if you're not already following me, go follow me everywhere. I posted a picture of me getting my Raw Women's Championship autographed by Charlotte Flair, who at that time had been a champion 4 times. Now, of course, that was forever ago now. Of course, now she's been champion 14 times, but I met her years ago at a meet and greet, and she signed my Raw Women's title. And that was the first ever championship that I had ever bought for myself. I had been wanting women's titles for such a long time. I love championship belts. I love championship gold, silver, what have you. I love titles. And that was the first one I ever bought for myself. And I felt really special having done that for me as a grown-up wrestling fan, right? And she signed it. And that's something that gets to live with me forever, right? And I've had other amazing people, amazing wrestlers sign it since then as well. And I've even gone on to even have other titles given to me by My boyfriend, shout out to him, he gave me the SmackDown Women's Championship. And then he also gave me the NXT UK Women's Championship that I currently own. So I really value women's championships, even though I might not have a whole lot of space for them at this point in time. I just love titles, and it is my absolute goal to have every women's title in existence before I leave this planet. So that's just something that I want to do. That's something that means a lot to me, even the ones that a lot of people, just don't necessarily like. Like, I just love championship titles. So something that I've also always wanted is, just since I've started the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, is something that makes it stand out in a way. Like, if I go to a thing, or if I do a convention and such, that it'll make my table stand out, or something that will make me stand out while I am, at wrestling events and such, that represents me and represents the Hardy Wrestling Podcast well. So, what's happening right now is I'm doing an unboxing, like it's in the title, of the brand new um Hardy Wrestling Podcast Championship, which was commissioned and created by me, and also by Brandon the Belt Guy. So for you guys who might not know who he is one of the amazing hosts of the Wrestling Realm, which is hosted by Brian H. Waters, Dwayne Allen, the real Dwayne Allen, and Has the Third. And Brandon is known for his love of curating belts. He even has his own show on the Wrestling Realm Network called Championship Culture, where he talks about different stories of different championship belts, from different eras of wrestling. And his title, well, not his title, but his slogan for his show is that every belt has a story. And he has also gone on to help create other titles for other people. Even most recently this year, he helped curate a championship for the wrestling club in New York, which is, of course, ran by Victor Perry. Those groups of kids that now get to go to WrestleMania because of the kindness of Cody Rhodes, the 2023 and 2024 Royal Rumble winner, right? So he helped create a belt for them. He's created belts for so many other people. And because of the help of Brandon the Belt Guy, and months of preparation and months of patience, which is something that I literally have to work on for the rest of my life, I have my baby now. Like, I have the belt, and I'm unboxing it right now, and I'm pulling it out of the box right now. It's, oh my god, here it is, and it's wrapped up in, oh my god, bubble wrap, and it's, oh my god, it's beautiful. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Hey Eric, hey. He said Brandon is saying the rapping is the worst part. I imagine it has to be in terms of preparation for that, because I hate rapping myself when it comes to gifts and stuff like that. And I remember the first time I had to rap something, like I had to talk, like I had to get the male person to talk me through it. I don't like it either, but I do love bubble wrap. I love to pop bubble wrap, so that'll never change. But right now, I am unwrapping and unplastifying this belt, and I'm gonna show it to you guys just as soon as I get it unwrapped. It's, Jesus Christ. I can't begin to thank. Like, this is just unbelievable. Like, this is my first time doing an unwrapping of anything on camera. Because usually when I buy things or get things for myself, like, there are content creators, shout out to all of those people, who unwrap things on camera and just be like, oh, well, I got this thing and I'm going to unbox it right now. This is not what I usually do. I don't do it because I just feel like a lot of the things that I get are just relatively normal. But this right here isn't normal. This is special. This is very, very special. You guys should see me at Christmas. I just get gift bags and just call it a day because I ain't got time to wrap nothing. Like, I love to gift gifts. So it's just like when I gift give, I literally put it in the bag and just wrap it in tissue paper because I love to surprise the people I love with presents. Like, I love that because that's just my thing. So gift wrap is just not my thing. And right now it's just the plastic is being a little bit stubborn. I'm sure you can probably hear it through my headphones. It's a little crazy, but we're going to get through it. We are going to get through it. And I'm going to show you guys and tell you guys the story of the belt so I can um, talk about it on here and then talk about it a little bit later elsewhere. Like you just, because this is a very special moment. And I literally cannot breathe because I'm just so excited. Oh my God. The plastic is just being very stubborn, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching on any of my platforms, please like, share, and subscribe this live and also any other clips you might see me share. Follow the Hardy Wrestling Podcast on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast and on Twitter at Hardy WrestlePod, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you can also follow me on Twitch on Stephanie_Hardy4, and follow me on TikTok at Stephanie_Hardy. That's where a lot of my content is too. And yeah, just be on the lookout for anything that I might have going on. I feel like that was a good place to plug myself before I get all this plastic out of here. It's insane, y'all. Like, new stuff. I mean, what are you gonna do? Okay. Oh God. I got the plastic off, y'all, and this is it. This is it. This is the debut of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast Championship. This is the most beautiful thing. This is one of the most beautiful things I've ever gotten. Like I said, me and Brandon curated this together. It means the world to me because, of course, and thank you guys in the chat for the compliments. I'm going to show them in a little while, but it represents the brand in a very beautiful way. It's purple, which is a deep and amazing color to me. And of course, I'm going to tell the story of all the symbolism on this title. Thank you to Brandon for this. This is a gorgeous piece of work. It's very heavy. So yes, it's real. And it's just amazing. So a lot of people don't know. I don't think I've ever told the story of the logo itself on the show. So the logo was created by Clement Wang. He is a logo guy. He does creative logos for so many different people, so many different organizations, even the WNBA and so many other places. And so when I started the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, I started it as an audio only brand on Anchor, which is now Spotify for podcasters. And there was like a wallpaper of like different pink and blue stuff that I just did. And it was called Hardy Wrestling with Stephanie Hardy. And I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but in my mind, whenever I would tell people about my show, I would just be like, oh, well, it's the Hardy Wrestling Podcast. But I just never, ever said, oh, it's Hardy Wrestling with Stephanie Hardy, because it was just too long to say. So eventually, I went through a whole rebrand and just said, okay, well, let me just call it the Hardy Wrestling Podcast just for short. And I was just thinking about all the ways in which I can have like a new logo. And Clement Wang did such an amazing job on this logo. I told him I wanted something that sort of represents sort of like a wrestling organization where how back in the day they used to have the logo of the wrestling promotions in the middle of a wrestling ring. And so this is where the HWP sort of comes from. It has, like, if HWP were a wrestling promotion back in the day, it would be in the middle of the wrestling ring. And in order for it to fit, of course, I had to, or at least he had to design the wrestling ring to look like a diamond and not like a square. So that's kind of where the design came from. And of course, the name of the podcast had to be underneath it, just so people would understand what HWP stands for. And I am so proud of this logo. And then the thing that I love about it is the fact that I don't know if any of you have ever been in the South or in a store where women's clothing is sold and they have, things with southern letters in the middle with acronyms and um initials and stuff like that. And that's low key what the middle of what the letters are giving. It's giving the southern letters in the middle. So I just love how it turned out, and I just really loved like the pink, the blue, and the purple because those are some of my favorite colors. I am a huge fan of brighter colors. I mean, you kind of see it, if you see me out in public or if you see some of the things I wear. I love bright colors. So it just felt like in order for me to be true to my feminine self and true to my wrestling self, like all the colors just needed to come together. So I want to thank Clement Wang for giving me this amazing logo and making it so good that it can just look good wherever it is, especially on this belt. So there's the story of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast logo. Now the other side, on this side, of course, you have the headphones. Now, of course, when you listen to podcasts, you can listen to them, through your headphones, if you're just sitting somewhere on your phone, or if you're listening to it via YouTube or watching a video with your headphones or your AirPods in. And this symbolizes all the ways in which you take in, that information. So that's what the headphones stand for. And it also is sort of like a callback to my past because I actually had at least maybe two pairs of purple headphones in my own life. They were skull candies. So that definitely speaks to me. And then of course it goes with the purple and everything. So yeah, that's just what that symbolizes, is listening to the podcast, however you listen to it. And then here is a very meaningful part that I really had to put on the title. And this is a blue videotape. Now, of course, for those, depending on what age you fall under, if you're watching or listening to this show, of course, VHSs were a thing in the 90s. And I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 1993. And this symbolizes the way in which I got into wrestling. I've told the story multiple times about how my father got me into wrestling, and the way in which he did was because he would tape the wrestling shows on Mondays back to back, or even on Thursdays back to back. And during the Monday Night War, he would tape WCW and WWF at the time on the same VHS tapes. So much so to the point to where he had a mountain of videotapes on the floor in our house. And this is what this symbolizes. This lets me know to never forget where my love of wrestling started and where it came from. It started with a mountain of videotapes from my father. So this is basically a tribute to how I got started watching wrestling with him. And I was so happy to put that on the title and actually have it in the blue to match with the logo. This part, which means a whole lot as well, is a microphone. Now, this is more so sort of like an old school microphone that you kind of just sing in, but at the same time, you can use a microphone like this to speak in as well. And so, of course, I remember when I first was getting comfortable getting on camera, like the first thing I wanted to buy was a microphone, whether it looked like this or whether it looked like anything else. I just love the way that microphones look. I love speaking in microphones. Of course, there was a part of my life where I sang in microphones quite a bit because I was in choir from like ever to ever. So I just had to put a microphone on here because In different stages of my life, a microphone has always been there. It's always been there either for me singing or either for me speaking, doing a speech at church or singing a solo. And now there's a different sort of microphone in the sense that I get to speak every other week and talk about all the things that I love in wrestling. So this is what this represents. And of course you have the blue color to accent that the logo as well. So that's what that microphone stands for. And of course, finally, we have Big Bama Energy. This is the state of Alabama, which is where I am from. Now, of course, if you see me post anything about wrestling and people from Alabama and stuff like that, you know that I'm from Alabama. I'm from Birmingham, born and raised, 205 lit all day. I'm very proud of where I'm from. And the thing that I love the most about one of the things I'm the most proudest of when it comes to starting this podcast is the fact that I've been able to tell stories about so many people in wrestling who are from Alabama, even now to the present day, who are making their own mark, and those in history who have also made their own mark. That's also in the first piece of merchandise that I've ever had on my t-shirt, which was for Alabama wrestling. Like I paid tribute to um I paid tribute to Sensational Sherry, who was born in Birmingham just like me. And to Teddy Long, who I've had on my show previously, you know, in previous iterations when I had no clue how to work videos and stuff. He's from Birmingham as well. And there's so many others from Alabama, like Deborah from back in the day, and Paul Bearer, who's from Mobile, which is further down, you know, south in South Alabama. So there's so many people from Alabama that have made their mark in wrestling. And then of course you have Kayla Braxton, who is on the t-shirt as well. She's from Alabama too. And it's just, you know, it just feels really good to be a part of a lineage of people in wrestling who are from Alabama. And I just hope that in the midst of everything that's going on in my life, that I'm making my city slash state proud, even though they might not know, because of course, you know, I'm not a famous person or nothing like that. But I hope that in the midst of everything that I'm making, you know, everyone from where I'm from proud, because it's who I am. I know a lot of people kind of just look at Alabama as this big old football state and that we're not really, you know, great in much else because of so many other things politically and other stuff, but it's home, and home made me, and I will never be ashamed of that. And I'm just so proud of it. This is where I'm from, and this deserved a place on the title, because when it comes to wrestling in Alabama, like there's so much about it that people don't know and that people deserve to speak out about. And I'm glad that my platform can be used to do that. Like we have so many independent promotions down here in so many different parts. So I just want to be a part of the growth of wrestling as a whole, the growth of women in wrestling media and Black women in wrestling media too, and to just let anyone know, you know, if you're from the South, you can do it too. If you're from anywhere, you can do it. But because I'm from Alabama and because I'm from Birmingham, you know, where a lot of people don't expect much from, like I go hard. Like that is one of my biggest driving forces of success, is the fact that, you know, people look at Birmingham because it's not New York or LA or any other place that's bigger, that it's not like, oh, well, it's not this popping city. I mean, no, but it's popping in its other ways. And it's my home and I love it, and I'm gonna rep it until the day I die. So that's all of it. And then of course, you know, you have the buttons and the buckle and all of the things. But man, this is just the most beautiful thing I've had in a while, and I love it so much, and it was definitely worth the wait. Um I love it a lot, and I see you guys like it in the comments as well. Just to show you guys, you know, show some of the comments. Brandon saying OMG is shiny. Yeah, it's shiny. Um Jeffrey saying hey, and there's yeah, and Jeffrey saying it looks similar to Jeff Hardy's TNA championship. Yeah, definitely. And Jeffrey saying it wouldn't be a Hardy championship without Alabama on it. Period. Hello. Kayla, you're watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you that you love the belt. I really love it, and I'm gonna cherish it, for the rest of my life. Thank you, Brandon, um, for this. Thank you for all of your patience and for all the moments where I messaged you at random times of your life and been like, look, where's my belt? Like, what's going on? Like, is it ready? All the things. Um, I'm really proud of it, and I feel like this just represents the overall spirit of the show. So hopefully I can continue, to just carry this championship with pride and let people know more about the show and let people know more about, what I do in wrestling along with it. But most of all to just represent, me and the hard work that I do, because sometimes I can just be really hard on myself, and we can be really hard on ourselves when it comes to the things that we do. And you feel like you're not as far as you want to be, or you feel like, oh my God, like I'm not able to do so many things at a time due to lifing. But I feel like this is, a reminder. This serves as a reminder that you are a champion regardless to what point of life you're in. So it's so funny. Hey, my sister's watching. Thank you so much. Trey is saying you gotta flex that baby at a WWE event. Well, Trey, there is one coming up this week that I will be able to flex it at, but I'm so happy with it. I love it so much, and I just can't wait to just plaster it everywhere, take pictures of it and all of the above. This is my baby, and this is a special belt. Not saying that any of my other belts aren't special, because they clearly are, in their own different ways. But this is amazing. Jackie, just always remember I'm always proud of you no matter what. Keep doing. Oh my God, don't make me cry. Jackie, don't make me cry. But yeah, it's something. I love it so much. So, like I said, you guys just continue. Thank you for watching this unboxing, unwrapping, and unveiling of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast Championship. Um, Thank you guys for watching all of my content. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me and for just, continuing to support me as I continue to grow. Now, of course, tomorrow, there will be a new episode of Steph and Cat Talk Wow. And of course, a new interview will be going up tomorrow too with the WOW Tag Team Champions, the Tonga Twins. And of course, if you haven't already, please watch the interview that Katrina did with Jesse Jones. Please check that out on our YouTube channels both, and just be on the lookout for any other announcements that I make involving the show, because there's been a lot going on in wrestling that I feel like I really do need to discuss. But like I said, life has been lifing. I'm trying to, finish a couple of assignments and stuff, and just try to take it one day at a time. So thank you guys so much for supporting me and supporting the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, and just continue to like, share, subscribe to everything, and just be on the lookout. Watch all my interviews, watch all my episodes, and just be on the lookout for any new thing that's happening. And of course, if you see any more pictures of this title, like it, like it, share it, do all the things. Thank you guys again so very much. And of course, this has been the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with your girl Stephanie Hardy and the Hardy Wrestling Podcast title. And until next time, bye y'all.